you've ever been before. That's what this journey is all about. I don't know about you, but I find that day after day, I just, you know, I have another opportunity to practice what I preach. Yeah. Literally. So the October theme at the Centers for Spiritual Living is glow up. Glow up. Glow up. And we're 10 months into the year, and the theme for the year was rising higher and growing deeper. I love that. So we create a foundation, but know that we're always also rising. And we're experiencing a glow up. And Science of Mind centers for all over the world are utilizing spiritual principles to participate in a collective healing. Community connection, spiritual practice, and time have transformed us into the magnificent, wise, and inspiring people you are today. Did you know that's who you are? I know that. And we have to have faith that the work we're doing on ourselves is changing the outside. Affirm with me, I am a brilliantly luminous being.
I am a brilliantly luminous being.
That's kind of a mouthful. Let's say that again. I am a brilliantly luminous being. That'll light you up. Our founder, Ernest Holmes, in his great book, Can We Talk to God, says this: love does not overcome hate and fear through controversy, argument, or force, but by a subtle power of transformation, transmutation, and sublimation. It is invisible in its essence, love, but apparent through its act. As light overcomes darkness, and as the presence of heat warms a cool room until it is comfortable, so the radiant action of love and peace dissipates fear, hate, and confusion. The radiant action of love and peace dissipates fear, hate, and confusion. Glow up. What the heck is that? Have you ever heard that term? The ultimate glow up comes from embodying love and peace through our challenges. And our Science of Mind teachings support all of us in experiencing this for ourselves. The dictionary.com definition says a glow up is an informal term for a positive personal transformation, typically one involving significant changes in appearance and style, and often also in growth, confidence, and maturity. And the term glow up originated in the hip-hop culture. And over time, the term gained traction on social media, with people often illustrating before and after pictures that showcased them glowing up. So think about how you have glown up. Glown up, I made up that word. By applying the Science of Mind teachings and principles in your life. How have you grown? Think about that. I know some of you that have been here a long time absolutely know there's been a shift in you. Those of you that are all new on the path, get ready. Your soul's going to go deeper, just like the song said. And it doesn't mean, remember, that we don't have challenges. We have opportunities. So when a health challenge shows up or financial challenge shows up, we have resources and tools to go deeper and allow whatever it is to show up to shift. So Ernest Holmes, way, way back, did not want to, he was reluctant to have an organization, a spiritual organization, because he wanted to assure that the movement in New Thought could always evolve by remaining what's called open at the top. You've probably heard that. And this important element has served as the foundation for Centers for Spiritual Living. And in the old days, there were two different organizations. Some of you know this. There was the United Church of Religious Science and the Religious Science International. They were all under Ernest Holmes' teachings, but they had slightly different ideas about ministerial school and practitioner training and just a few things. But in 2011, the two organizations came together and formed the Centers for Spiritual Living that we are today. And it required deep healing work to unite those two organizations and to experience a glow-up. So, for instance, the first time in CSL's history, diversity training is required for all ministers. And certain training is now focused on more social activism or social being involved in what's going on. So we at the Centers for Spiritual Living are committed, especially the leaders, are committed to igniting a higher consciousness for the whole planet. Ooh. Yeah. So in the Science of Mind textbook, mine's kind of falling apart. What happened? You know, Ernest Holmes, bless his heart, in the Science of Mind textbook, he does have a couple chapters on the teachings of Jesus because he considered himself a metaphysical Christian. And there are also some chapters on the Old and New Testament and with metaphysical interpretations. So it's very fascinating. And this is one that I've always really used. And for those of you students, it's on page 486. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, from the Bible, Romans 12:2. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Today we know what this means, he says. The renewing of the mind is a scientific act. As the conscious thought pours truth into the subjective channels of creative energy, the body is automatically renewed. This is mental healing. Mental healing is a conscious act, as well as an established fact, in the experience of many people. Instead of the old concepts of disease and failure, we are to inject those of liberty, freedom, health, harmony, and success. Mental healing is subject to the exact laws of mind and spirit, and is accomplished by correct knowing. That's why we take classes. That's why we do our spiritual practices. That's why we have spiritual mind treatment. This knowing is a mental attitude toward the truth. It is the truth with a capital T that makes us free, and it is the mind which knows the truth. The body is healed as the inner mind is transformed, and as the old and false images of thought are renewed by the images of truth and life. The process through which this renewing takes place is a conscious one, and may be practiced by anyone who understands the principle involved. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Yeah. That is powerful. So let's affirm, I am transformed by the renewal of my mind.
I am transformed by the renewal of my mind.
Take a breath. So I say often, daily pay attention to where your attention's going. And if it's going down the rabbit hole of lack, limitation, fear, disease, upset, you're going to call forth more of that. So that's where you start transforming your attention, moving your attention to something different. Which brings to mind, to me, the transformation and metamorphosis of a caterpillar to a butterfly. I love that story. It's so fascinating. And that is like nature's ultimate glow-up.
Yeah.
Right? Take a picture of the caterpillar and then a picture of the butterfly. So in a book called Butterfly, author Nori Huddle says this: These are the ones that create the vision for the butterfly. The vision for the butterfly. I think we're kind of in that state right now in our community. These imaginal cells resonate at a different frequency. They are so totally different from the caterpillar cells that their immune system thinks they're enemies and starts to gobble them up. But these new imaginal cells continue to appear. More and more of them, and pretty soon the caterpillar's immune system can't destroy them fast enough. More and more imaginal cells survive. The more those people think of great things, then an amazing thing happens, she says. The tiny, little, lonely, imaginal cells start to clump together into friendly little groups. They all resonate together at the same frequency, passing information to each other. Then after a while, another amazing thing happens. The clumps of imaginal cells cluster together even more inside the chrysalis. And then a wave of good news travels throughout the system, but not yet a butterfly. Then at some point, the entire long string of imaginal cells realizes suddenly that altogether it's something different from the caterpillar. Something new, something wonderful. And in that realization, the shout of the birth of the butterfly. Since the butterfly now knows that it's a butterfly, the little tiny imaginal cells no longer have to do all those things that individual cells have to do. Now they are part of a multi-celled organism, a family, who can share the work. Each new butterfly cell can now take on a different job, and there's something for everyone to do, and everyone is important. And each cell begins to do just that very thing it's most drawn to do. And every other cell encourages it to just do that. What a great way to organize a butterfly. And I say, what a great way to organize a community or a world. I love that story. It's just always for me, a good reminder if I'm in that caterpillar place, crawling along, having an issue, I can remember that there's a vision inside of me of something better. Always, always. And if you can't remember it, that's why we have practitioners and ministers, because I can help support you in that remembering. Our phone numbers are listed on the program. Never hesitate to reach out or just get a reminder. I have 2 practitioners I work with every week, and they remind me who I am. It's powerful. Because in our own experience of a glow-up, we have to release old habits and behaviors that no longer serve us, right? We have to shed. The caterpillar spins itself into a chrysalis. And deep healing can sometimes feel like we're in that chrysalis. Just like healing our shadow self, the process of transforming into a butterfly can feel messy, uncomfortable. Sometimes our hearts can feel like that when we're doing difficult healing work. And I know some of you are experiencing those things right now. You're in a transformation. What if you're in a transformation? And rest, R-E-S-T, rest is the final step in its transformation to become a butterfly. Rest is also a crucial part in our process as we prepare to take flight. And the real glow-up comes when we're able to serve as an example of the power of healing. Our decision to commit to our own healing inspires others. I know that's why we do Joys and Support. I'm always inspired by people that come up and say something. because we're all connected. We can all hold that for others. One person's transformation creates a ripple effect of a glow-up around the world. Affirm with me, I make the decision to commit to my transformation.
I make a decision to commit to my transformation.
I make the decision.
I make the decision
to commit to my transformation.
to commit to my transformation.
Imagine you're just putting on a new coat, a new jacket. And that's why I believe our sacred community here is so vital. My fellow minister friend Jim Lockhart said this: safe space means that we co-create a chrysalis of support for those who are wounded, as well as those who choose to do the deep and often painful work of personal transformation. You are all welcome here, no matter where you are on your journey, right? And as we each embrace spiritual transformation, we then can embody love and peace that will help to dispel fear and division. But we have to do it together with a higher consciousness. The Reverend Michael Beckwith said, as your spiritual character begins to emerge and you identify more with who and what you really are, you begin to live vibrationally in a world that most people can't see. You become the ambassador of the next stage of your energetic unfolding and the next iteration of humanity itself. Yeah. So we're doing our work on our own, but it will show on the outside, and people will recognize. How come you're not upset about this? Oh, how come you can blah, blah, blah? And so I invite you this week to take some time to reflect on your own glow up. What changes have you made in your life that reflect your spiritual growth? And share your experiences. Make a testimonial with us through social media, and help us promote these powerful teachings of the science of mind. You know, it doesn't hurt to say, wow, I'm feeling so much better about this, because I heard this great talk from Reverend Suzanne, and then you share it or pass it on. That's why we're here, to expand the consciousness. It's not about the people in the seats, to me. It's about expanding the consciousness. So what if there is luminosity in the darkness? What if everything is actually working together for your good? What if? So I invite you to ask yourself this question. Whatever's going on now in my world, what good is trying to emerge? And listen. Take the time to listen. You still go out into nature, as we talked about last week, and claim your good. Name it. Name your good. My good is what? Fill in the blank. And that's your mantra for the week. My prayer is that you open your wings and fly, my friends. Are you willing?
Yes.
Are you in?
Yes.
Say I'm in.